It's tough to let that one go. We knew it's going to be tough on the road against a great team, but we got to eliminate mistakes. There's no room for that in the playoffs.
Golden Tate, Fox 2, 248-539-9797. As promised at 11:50, you got some thoughts on the Red Wings from over the weekend. Noah Brown from Ohio State has announced he's leaving Ohio State, and apparently Curtis Samuel has as well.
Yep.
And, that's too bad. Look, Ohio State's a very young football team. The talent they would bring back would dominate the East, in my opinion. They've lost a lot. They're still going to obviously be a formidable foe, but I'm glad to see them come back to the pack a little bit.
More players talking at Lions practice, after Lions, not practice, but postmortem today.
Yep.
Travis Swanson said he's going to keep his health, quote, to himself. Says he's excited for next year.
See, one of the problems, one of the issues, and it starts with Quinn and Caldwell, and Quinn is from the Patriots camp, so nothing. We're not going to hear anything that gratifies the fans today. Caldwell's never going to say anything at a press conference that instills confidence in the fans. That's not his job. His job is to win football games, and when it was all said and done, he won more than he lost, but not enough to make people happy. In my view, with this roster, somewhat understandable what happened this year. That expectation goes up with another offseason under Bob Quinn. Gator, looking for satisfaction out of that head coach at a press conference or while watching him on the sidelines is never going to happen. Don't expect it. It's just not going to happen. I judge coaches on the winning and losing because different styles produce all varieties of results. You can be a yeller and screamer. It doesn't make a difference. Jim Schwartz was the most animated coach on the sidelines. Didn't win enough. Belichick's pretty calm on the sidelines.
He wins enough.
Yep. Saban gets mad. He wins a lot. I mean, it's not like there's a direct correlation between...
Saban just changed his offensive coordinator a week before the national championship game tonight.
It's funny because you can get it done with all kinds of styles. So I don't get too wrapped up in winning press conferences or saying great things in press conferences because I've fallen for that before. And I don't get wrapped up in getting mad because he never says anything to satisfy the fans. Caldwell is never going to help his own case in a press conference. 248-539-9797. Kevin and Macomb, you're next. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Doug and Gator. First-time caller on this show.
Thank you for calling.
I just wanted to talk staff. Last year at this time, I was a former Stafford hater, and I have to say this year he's won me over. I think he's on it. I think he's the quarterback of the future for this team, and you got to stick with him. I don't blame him at all for the loss against the Seahawks. There was like all those drop passes. Hopefully I'm not a sucker, but I'm optimistic. I like Bob. I like Quinn, and I think mainly with that running game, I just think that they just need more talent, and I'm hopeful. Bob Quinn came from a winning organization, and he had his first draft class was pretty decent in my opinion. I hope that give him a couple more draft classes, and I think they're like Calvin Pritchett was saying on Sunday. I think there may be like a shutdown corner, inside defensive lineman, and maybe another offensive lineman away, and definitely a running back.
You didn't list what they really need, which is linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker too, but it's like you look at the Giants. They have that solid secondary. My philosophy, I'd like to build a team like a Seattle, like that Legion of Boom.
Well, Kevin, I think you're spot on most of what you had to say. I think one of the most fascinating questions of the offseason is how will Quinn prioritize things? How is he going to – is the linebacker the number one need? Is the corner the number one need? I feel like this guy works the draft better than the previous guy who just said, we're going to take the best player available, regardless of position. And I think that hurt him. First of all, I'm not even sure they knew who the best player available was, and I don't know that they drafted the best player available when they were up every time. In fact, I think it's a pretty safe bet they didn't get the best player available because they'd be better if they did. But they didn't seem to put much emphasis on position of need because I think you can marry those two things together.
Yeah, you can.
And you also got to play the draft too. If there's 5 defensive tackles when you're on the board in the first round, and one linebacker you like, and 5 defensive tackles, and you evaluate one of the defensive tackles better than the linebacker, and you take the defensive tackle that you evaluate better, one of the 5, that you evaluate better than the linebacker, then the linebacker's gone, and you get around to your second pick, and you still have one of those 5 defensive tackles on the board. What if you'd taken the linebacker
Right.
and taking advantage of the depth at the position in the draft? That's something I don't think Mayhew did. I think Quinn's going to do it. And so I hope, too, not to be a sucker, but I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Quinn.
He's 1 for 1 with the draft.
Yes. All right, we said we get to some Red Wing stuff, and whether or not, on Friday we ask a question, and on Monday the answer is clearly no, whether or not Jared Careau is going to kind of become a factor in the goalie race. And then he gets chased out of the net over the weekend. So, I mean, look, I know some people had started to like him. He had just come off a shutout. They shut out the Kings. I don't know if there's anything more to say about it other than the answer is no. That's what we were going to ask. But he lasted the first period, gave up 3 goals in San Jose. Anything to add?
Well, I think that through the weekend, what we're seeing is Athanasiou deserves more ice time because he's playing fantastically well. So is Anthony Mantha. Those 2 guys right now they're just carrying the team. Vanek's had chipped in with some goals, but this is a Red Wing team. It's just not big enough, not strong enough, not fast enough, not enough scoring to it,
not enough defense.
Not enough defense. Scotty Bowman said a few weeks ago when asked about the Red Wings and what they're missing right now, and he says, "Well, you look at two things stand out to me that winning teams have: great goaltending and a great power play." Well, the Red Wings haven't gotten great goaltending on a consistent level. They certainly got better goaltending with Jimmy Howard when he was healthy, but he's not healthy. And Mrazek's been inconsistent all season. And you add that with the power play that is powerless, and you're not a very good hockey team. Now, they've got a lot of guys that are out right now, but that's even when they get healthy, I don't see this team being all that good.
All right, 248-539-9797. Back to your phone calls. What bothered you most about the Lions' loss on Saturday night? By the way, coming up today at 12:20, Jim Caldwell did speak today. We'll play back for you the most interesting things he had to say. 12:20 today. Let's get back to your open line calls. Greg is in Westland, and he's next. Hi, Greg.
Oh, hello. Yeah, what I've got to say is, number one, is the Lions, their teams throughout history have found a way to falter. And that's what gets me. I'm a Lions fan, truly. I really listen to them, but they falter quite a bit when it comes to the big times. I remember, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I remember years ago when when Tampa Bay was just coming up, the Lions had a chance to win the division against Tampa Bay and lost. I remember when the 90s was our best decade. If you remember right, the Lions had some of the best teams. We had Billy Sims. We had such a great line at that time, defensive line.
They had Barry
and
Sanders.
We still found a way to get jinxed. We always found a way to somehow get jinxed. I don't know what it is, talent, the team, the owners. I have no clue what makes them the way they are. But they always get us to drink a little bit of Kool-Aid and let us down. So I'm getting used to it, and I wasn't very disappointed in what they did. I just knew it was going to happen.
Well, there's a difference between being disappointed and being surprised. I don't think anybody was completely surprised. I think Detroit actually, for the most part, kept their expectations for this team in check. I mean, who's surprised they got smoked in Seattle?
I don't think anybody really.
No. You could be disappointed, though. I expected them to battle more, compete.
Well,
I didn't expect them to drop 5 passes.
Let me rephrase that. I'm surprised they got smoked in Seattle. I'm surprised that game was a 3-touchdown game. I didn't think they'd win. I thought that they would keep
You're
it.
Surprised that
I thought they'd keep it
within
single digits is what I thought.
248-539-9797. All right, 12:20 for what Jim Caldwell had to say today out of Allen Park, 97.1.
Jamie and Stoney, mornings